What are you as the South African police force doing about this?
I believe it's confidential information right now. Which
some of the things, they might be technical.
We're charging you.
What evidence have you gathered in terms of this Madanga Commission?
They have little influence over who gets nominated as mayoral candidates.
There's so many allegations going on. Some people say it's hearsay, some people say it's true.
To be quite frank as well, I'm not the man's lawyer. I'm not here to speak for him at all.
Good day and welcome to What If cAfrica. My name is Busisiwe and this is the show that keeps you up to date with the world's current affairs. Today we're going to be looking at the war in the Middle East as well as strikes that have been launched on Iran, whether or not Europe will get involved and if the outcome will cause to a wider spread of this war. To better understand today's current situation, we need to understand what triggered this conflict. For decades, Israel has viewed Iran's nuclear program as a major threat. Israel believes that eventually the nuclear program will be developed into weapons, something that Tehran has denied. In 2015, the world powers signed a nuclear agreement that limited Iran's nuclear program development in exchange for sanctions relief. Let's get into what caused the conflict between these countries. To better understand the current situation, we need a broader history of the tensions that have arisen between Israel, Iran, as well as the United States. For decades, Israel has believed that the nuclear program of Iran has been a major threat. And in 2015, world powers came together and signed that the Iran nuclear deal would be limited for development in exchange for relief sanctions. The deal collapsed in 2018 when the United States decided to withdraw. Since then, tensions have steadily increased. Israel has conducted operations in targeting Iranian military assets as well as regional allies. And now conflict has escalated into something far more dangerous. The current war situation that is going on in the Middle East is that recent reports indicated the US as well as Israeli forces launched major strikes on the Iranian military infrastructure as well as dramatically escalating the situation. Iran has responded with missile and drone attacks across the region, targeted at the US bases as well as Israeli cities. This retaliation has sparked fears that the conflict would spread across the Middle East. Airspace closures, disrupted oil shipments, and rising global tensions have already begun to affect the international economy. And right now, the biggest concern is whether or not global powers will get involved. Now, let's see where Europe stands. Where Europe stands is that currently the European countries such as Germany, the United Kingdom, and France have taken a cautious approach when coming to this Middle Eastern war. They have expressed concerns about Iran's program, but they have also made it clear they do not want to be dragged into another Middle Eastern war. Instead, the European leaders are pushing for diplomacy as well as negotiations. They fear that a large-scale war could destabilize the region and disrupt global trade as well as create another humanitarian crisis. Even NATO leadership has clarified that alliances will not directly participate in the war, although some countries will offer defensive support. In other words, Europe supports stability, but not necessarily another war. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we get into why Europe has been so hesitant when it comes to this war. Now, remember, if you do enjoy this content and you wish to see more, visit our website, www.cAfrica.tv, to purchase our cAfrica TV stick for just $999 once off, no subscriptions. When we come back, we're talking more about Europe as well as the hesitation towards the war.
3, 2, 1. We have liftoff.
From sports to spirit, documentaries to dance, the cAfrica stick brings every story to your screen. Hundreds of channels, one device, no limits, just pure streaming freedom. Plug it in, power it up, play what you. Now available for you to purchase. Order now from www.cAfrica.tv.
Not all European countries are in agreement when it comes to how to deal with Iran. Some European countries want stronger pressure on Tehran, while others believe that diplomacy is the only sustainable solution. Let's have a look at what could happen next. Welcome back. This is still What If cAfrica, and I'm your host, Busi, and we're talking all things Middle Eastern war as well as strikes on Iran. And we're going to explore why Europe has been hesitant when it comes to this war. There are several reasons why Europe may have been reluctant to join the conflict. The first being the history. European governments remember that consequences of previous military interventions in Iraq as well as Libya have led to instability, refugee crises, and long-term regional chaos. The second one could possibly be an economic risk. A wider war would threaten oil shipments through Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most important energy routes. And the third could be that there could be a political division when it comes to this war. Not all European countries are in agreement when it comes to how to deal with Iran. Some European countries want stronger pressure on Tehran, while others believe that diplomacy is the only sustainable solution. Let's have a look at what could happen next. There are three possible scenarios. One being that Europe stays completely out of the conflict and pushes for peace negotiations. And the second being that European countries offer limited military support in terms of logistics, intelligence, as well as defense. And the third scenario is that if this war expands, Europe could be forced to take a stronger role when it comes to this war. However, for now, the European governments appear to be determined to avoid involvement within the conflict. The Middle East has long been one of the world's most complex geopolitical regions, and the decisions made in these coming weeks could shape global politics for years. Will Europe join this conflict, or will diplomacy prevail? For now, we keep a close watch and time will tell. I am Busi, and this is What If cAfrica. Now remember, for more of this kind of content, visit our website at www.cAfrica.tv to purchase our cAfrica TV stick for just $999, no subscription, unlimited access. I am Busi, and this is What If cAfrica. Stay safe and stay informed.